will be physically present for this meeting. No in-person, attendance of members of the public will be permitted. The meeting will be live broadcast on Dudley Cable Access, not on Dudley. It will be live broadcast on YouTube, and members of the public can also access the meeting online, by YouTube. In the event of an unanticipated interruption in this broadcast, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording transcript or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Members of the public who wish to appear before the Board of Selectmen must make an appointment to appear on an upcoming agenda by contacting Michelle Jervis at 508-949-8001 or by emailing selectmen@dudleyma.gov. Placement on the agenda is not guaranteed, however, and persons requesting to appear before the Board of Selectmen should not attend a meeting in person unless and until the appointment has been confirmed by the Board of Selectmen. A person with matters appearing on a meeting agenda may request that they attend by virtual means, such as conference call, rather than in-person attendance. Such a request should be directed to Michelle Jervis at 508-949-8001 or by emailing selectmen@dudleyma.gov no more than 72 hours in advance so that appropriate arrangements can be made. However, persons or representatives with matters appearing on the meeting agenda who wish to be physically present at the meeting must observe the following requirements. Only 10 people, including board committee members and staff, will be permitted in the meeting room at one time. Satellite rooms will be available for overflow, and the meeting will be broadcast in real time in those satellite rooms. Total capacity in each room will be limited to 10 persons. Persons who wish to participate in any particular matter on the meeting agenda will be asked to wait in the satellite room until that agenda item is reached, at which point attendees will be rotated between the main meeting room and the satellite rooms as appropriate. Again, the total number of persons in any room, including the main meeting room, shall be limited to 10 people at any one time. Social distancing must be maintained in both the main meeting room and in satellite rooms. Face masks or coverings will be required in accordance with Governor Baker's May 1st, 2020 COVID-19 Order Number 31, order requiring face coverings in public places where social distancing is not possible. A copy of that order can be found at https://www.mass.gov/doc/May1-2020 masks and face coverings/download. Failure to comply with these requirements may lead to an attendee's removal from the meeting. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Mr. Chair, a moment before we start.
Certainly, Mr. Sullivan.
Just a couple of things of note. Today is the 79th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, the seminal moment in the greatest generation's lives. We'd be remiss if we didn't note the sacrifices made, the lives lost that day. Also, these are amazing numbers. I can't believe it, they're what they are. I think the board would like to note the over 257,000 total cases of COVID-19 in Massachusetts, with the over 11,000 deaths in Massachusetts. And we especially note the people that have recovered. And I'd ask the board to give us a moment of silence to honor the memory of Pearl Harbor and COVID deaths. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Well said. First on the agenda, we have the consent agenda. On that, we have the acceptance of minutes of 11/23/2020, and we have to accept but not release executive session minutes of 11/23/2020.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Root, I believe we do a roll call vote when we're all participating remotely. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Roll call vote, please.
John Marcy, aye.
Stephen Sullivan, aye.
Jay Johnson, aye.
Harry Siganovich, aye. Unanimous. Next on the agenda, we have the town administrator's report. Mr. Ruda.
Mr. Chairman, a very brief report. I just want to bring up something that I believe needs the Board of Selectmen, Highway Commissioner's attention that in the absence of a superintendent who actually started this morning, a new superintendent was onboarded this morning. Our former superintendent has begun the transition process. Over the weekend, obviously we didn't have a superintendent at the time, but we also had a foreman out on medical leave. And we had a heavy equipment operator who was a senior person on the highway step up during our first significant winter snowstorm and handle the crew for the entire duration of the storm. And I think he did one heck of a good job. I know that there was a little bit of anxiety going into it without a foreman and a superintendent, but I think the next morning we saw a pretty decent job was done. He was able to step up. I think he did a good job. I wanted to just call that out to you and remind everybody that was his first go around with running 14 assets at once. So I personally appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Sullivan.
I'd like to echo a lot of what Mr. Ruda said. I was not in contact with highway personnel, but I was in contact, excuse me, with Mr. Ruda, because people were reaching out. The storm was slow developing with the rain, but when it came, it came. And as Mr. Ruda noted, they did an outstanding job. The foreman was out, but in contact. And I'm sure the townspeople appreciate the effort that was put forth during this storm. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Marcy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll also echo that, for the first real, heavy snow that we got, I got no calls. I heard no real complaining. I really want to call out MJ Gatsky for stepping up and leading our team through that for the first time. I'm sure that was nerve-wracking for him, but he did a fantastic job, and we need to acknowledge him in some way.
Thank you, Mr. Marcy. Do you have anything else for your report, Mr. Ruda? Or is that about it?
That's it for right now, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have a public hearing. Mr. Ruda, there's no time listed in here. I can start this now?
Yeah, open it. If you'd open the public hearing, if there's no time listed, it's defaulted to 6:30. So we can start it late, we can't start it early. So if we want to open it at 6:47, we'll be good.
That's excellent. Just being cautious, making sure that the i's are dotted. So at 6:40 p.m., I will open the public hearing. All alcohol liquor license for the Ice Cream Farm Incorporated, 185 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. Manager Carmela M. Manzaro, owner and manager. Sorry, the print's a little small and yeah, but thank you for joining us. You're on mute, I believe.
Here I am.
Here you are.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Chairman, this is a public hearing. It was posted accordingly. There was nobody who was requested to participate. Is that correct, Michelle? I'll speak for her. As of just prior to the beginning of this meeting, there was nobody who requested to participate. She's monitoring email. No one's asking to join the meeting, and no one has to be placed on the agenda. So with that said, Mr. Chairman, you might as well go ahead with the public hearing. There's no members of the public who've asked to participate in it.
Excellent. Well, Carmela, let me ask, you're looking for an all alcohol liquor license. Could you tell us a little bit, maybe a little bit about your business and a little bit about what you want to do with this?
Certainly. We make all our ice creams and sorbets on site there at West Main Street. We really wanted to infuse our ice cream with alcohol, but been told by the state that that's not allowed. So the next best thing, I guess, is to pour over it or in the shakes that we do prepare. It's that type of business. So it's an ice cream business. It's not a bar.
Any questions from the board members?
All set, Mr. Chairman.
All set?
Same here.
All set. Mr. Marcy, you're all set?
All set. Carmella came to our town meeting at the Everett Hill, and she described it for us then.
Mhm.
I thought it was a good idea. It's a good way for her to branch out in her business. You know, just have to make sure that everything's in place and rules are being followed. But she's a responsible business owner, and we'll let her do that.
Certainly. So I have a question, Carmella. Is the plan for inside consumption, outside consumption, both?
Well, there is a couple of benches outside, so they would be sitting outside if it was poured into their shake or over their ice cream, yes.
Mr. Ruda, we're all set from a legal standpoint as far as allowing this?
Yeah, as of last week, we were, our previous meeting, we were all set.
Just out of an abundance of caution, just checking. Mr. Marcy?
Yeah, just the obligatory ask the police chief, you know, so his guys are aware and they know. And Steve, you have any comments?
No, nothing other than the fact that however it's listed, as far as if it's on the premises, if it's just a straight sale or whatever it is, because that would be one thing where, especially for a lot of people who like just hanging around the parking lot or something, that might be a concern. But otherwise, I don't really have a major issue with it.
Okay, thanks, Chief. And Mr. Chairman, one more thing. Since this is an all alcohol license, we have a limited number of those. How many of those do we have left other than this one? Do we know? Just curious. This is from curiosity.
Mr. Ruda, do you know?
Michelle would know off the top of her head.
Oh, hi, Michelle.
He's looking.
Yeah, you're muted, Michelle, if you're speaking. There you go.
Hi. Yep.
Hi.
I believe we have 5 all alcohol licenses available.
Okay, so we have room to grow.
Oh, yeah,
So,
we have, majority of the licenses are all alcohol.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks.
Have any other questions? Any other board members have any questions? Mr. Johnson?
Just the information to get to Carmella about what the annual obligations now are. What is it, annual background check, or is it fingerprints once? Maybe Chief could let us know.
Yeah, get them initially, and then after a period of time, I believe it's after 5 years, I think it is. That's the breakdown, but you do one set initially that goes through.
Any other questions from anyone? If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Got to close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
Oh, have to close the public hearing. I apologize. I close the public hearing. The chair closes the public hearing at 6:52 PM. Mr. Marcy?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the all alcohol license to the Ice Cream Farm, Inc., 185 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. Manager being Carmella N. Manzaro, owner and manager.
Second.
Question, Mr. Chair, I mean to grant the license, not accept?
Grant. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Sullivan, yes.
We're all coming back to Zoom. We're all, especially me, a little out
Well,
of
usually we so move things, but I wanted to read that one.
Okay.
The record.
Second, do you, Mr. Johnson, do you agree with that? Change in the motion?
Yes.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
John Marcy, aye.
Jay Johnson, aye.
Stephen Sullivan, aye.
Carrie Siganovich, aye, unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Carmella. Appreciate
Good
you.
luck. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Next on the agenda, we have board member comments. Mr. Sullivan?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, again, just to echo, those are some staggering numbers that are coming in with COVID. Please wear masks, social distance, hand wash. As we've been saying right along, check on your neighbors, the elderly, the shut-in. You know, we're in a tough time right now, and hopefully vaccines are on the horizon. And I'm sure people are going to touch on it, but I just want to thank all the parties involved with the magic sleigh ride the other night, fire and EMS, police, you know, town hall staff, Michelle, Jonathan, everybody who pitched in to really make it a fun night. I talked to some people and right in front of their house, and I talked to other people. It was 1 or 2 streets over, and they chased it down, and you know, it became a larger than life event. Hopefully next year we can get back to what we've been doing and get everybody in the town hall and outside to watch the tree lighting. But just want to echo, I'm sure what people are going to say, outstanding event. Good job all around by everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Johnson?
The videos of the kids, so excited about the, who was up there? It was Santa and then Chief Kuczynski, right? They up on top. You know, the kids enjoyed it. It was a blast. So thank you for all that put it together, and it was appreciated.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Marcy?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. One, I wanted to, thank our highway guys and contractors for the great job they did on our first snowstorm. And let's hopefully we'll have a mild winter like we did last year. But if not, I have no doubt that we'll stay ahead of it. And secondly, I waited out there in my driveway for like a lot of people. I think just watching people come out of their houses, looking left, looking right, and everybody coming out to watch, wait for Santa and the Grinch to come by was pretty amazing. So I think that was fantastic, and thank you to everybody who did that. So it was amazing. That was great.
Thank you, Mr. Marcy. That was a tremendous event. Thank you to the police and fire departments for escorting Mr. Claus around town. Former Selectman Peter Fox had reached out to me this week. He would have come to a meeting to express this himself, but with us on Zoom and in light of recent events with him, he could not. Unfortunately, Mr. Fox suffered an accident at his home. He's fine now. He's great, but he's fine because of the actions of our public safety. He wanted me to make sure that I commended the fire chief with just the paramedics that showed up. They were kind to him, kind to his wife, kind to the neighbors. It's the same story we hear from anyone who's ever needed anything with any of our public safety departments. We have some excellent people who show up when you need them. And it's unfortunate that he needed them, but it was great that he got the service and care and help that he needed to get better. And it's the same service and care that any citizen would get. So I just wanted to convey that on his behalf. Next up, we have departmental communications. Police Chief, what do you have, sir? You're on mute. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I was just going to echo the same comments you had before. It was a good team effort on Friday night with the Santa ride around town. George Petrinos did a very great job driving the ladder truck. Fire chief was there helping out with everything. My guys and everything else really did a good job helping out Santa and the Grinch get around. Michelle, John, everybody at the town hall did a great job too. We had a couple of things we tried with that. Glimpse, the Glimpse app was activated, and that was a method for people to track the procession as it kind of went around town. At one point, I think we had like 1,000 people that were onto that site, so it was pretty useful. So we get a lot of good feedback on it. We certainly missed a few turns here and there, and originally we estimated about 3 to 4 hours, but it turned out to be close to 5. So it was a little bit of extra time in there, but it's certainly well worth it, and I think all the kids really had a good time with it. So we'll look to try to do it again maybe for next year. We're going to sit down and talk about some things this week and see what could be improved or what was done differently, or what went really well. So, but just a good time to add a little fun to a lot of the kids that especially going through a really strange time. So hopefully the holiday season's a little bit brighter on that end. The only other thing we got too is we applied for and got our $12,000 grant for our traffic highway safety enforcement that had been missing for the last couple of years. Executive Office of Public Safety had kind of changed some of the criteria, but they reverted it back now. So Phil Megas put an application together, and so we've got some grant money to go out and do some extra traffic patrols. So we're getting those things starting up fairly soon.
Fantastic.
But otherwise, not sure if this is the last meeting before the Christmas break, but if it is, wish you all a happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and everybody out there in YouTube land.
Thank you, Chief. Dean, Mr. Fire Chief, how are we, sir? What do you have?
I guess I'm just going to say pretty much what everybody else said. The Santa Claus tour went really well. It was a good collaborative effort by police, fire, town hall employees. I thought it was really good to see police and fire and town hall working so good together as one cohesive unit. Went really well. Had a good time. And I think it was nice to see a little Christmas cheer in a difficult time. I also spoke with Mr. Fox personally last week as he expressed his gratitude for the call. He's doing well. He's healing up. And I'm very proud of my guys for doing such a good job. But that being said, I wouldn't expect any less from them on any call. I'm just glad they did a good job, and I'm proud of them. And that's all I have.
Excellent, thank you. George, what do you have, George? You're on mute, sir, if you're speaking. Okay, looks like we lost George. Mr. Carmignani, do you have anything this evening?
Certainly. Good evening. We have the third and fourth quarter tax bill amounts ready. We're looking to get them in the mail next week, not for Christmas Eve. I know everybody likes to wear that joke out. Water sewer bills due on the 21st. Don't want to steal any of the town administrator's thunder. We're looking at a couple of things as far as remote permitting, being able to take some drive-through payments, things like that, sort of ease things. Last time we were remote, things were okay. We'll set the bar a little higher, see what we can do for this time. Beyond that, the app worked very well received. There isn't anything I could say about the little Santa visit that that everybody else didn't comment on. It's great. Love to see the Easter Bunny on there too. Maybe we can have a Halloween parade. Awesome, awesome, awesome. More civic engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ruda. Thank you, Mr. Carmignani. I apologize. George, are you back yet, sir? Okay.
Can we ask who Nancy is, Mr.
I
Chairman?
just asked you that.
John, this is me, Jeff Murray. I
Boy,
apologize.
talk about Saved by the Bell. I was just getting texted about you.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I didn't realize that I was signed in under that name. My girlfriend actually borrowed my iPad for a Zoom meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't realize it was still signed in under her
Oh, no,
name.
I didn't know. We just didn't know because, believe it or not, we've been
Yep.
Zoom bombed before, so.
Yes,
Yep.
we have.
Do you want to talk Can we put you on the spot and ask you to talk about your first 8 hours?
Sure. Yep. So my first 8 hours, the first couple of hours of the day I spent with Vin, and we went through the payroll and some of the particulars of some of the ancillary things that he'd be doing with doing the fuel readings and some of the other things around the office. I got a chance to meet most of the staff. There's a couple of guys that are missing. I guess the part-timers that would be working with the recycling center. Got a chance to take a walk around and look at some of the equipment, get a little bit of an idea of what they're working with, talk to some of the guys and, pick their brains a little bit, just see what they're doing right now for the time being. And then I got a chance to meet with John and speak with him a little bit during the day. I got a little bit of an understanding about what's going on with the phasing or setting up of teams with the town hall. And I look forward to meeting, I guess, most of the department heads on Thursday, correct, John? Is that going to be the case?
Yeah, they don't know it yet, but we're gonna try to make it happen on Thursday.
Okay.
Chief, Thursday work?
Is there a
Yeah.
time estimate?
They're donuts and
Yep.
coffee.
We're gonna have, Rich is gonna have a separate session. Yeah, we'll maybe 10 o'clock. We'll take a look at the schedule. Does that time of the day work? 10 a.m.?
Yeah, we can do the training room at the fire department if you want, because we can spread out there and wear masks. Unless you were
Let's
doing.
do that. We can kill two birds with one stone. Show them the fire department at the same time.
Yeah, we
I may
can do
have a
training, we
Zoom
can
meeting, but
spread out.
I'll check. Yes, I may have a Zoom meeting, but I'll check on it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so one thing also, John, I was not able to get, I didn't hear back from the IT guy, wasn't able to get email squared away on my phone, but I think I can probably, if I speak with him on the phone, I can probably work my way through that, even if I can maybe hook it up to my laptop to get it. Sometimes what happens, I think, is with iTunes, it doesn't want to do anything actually through a phone. You kind of have to tether it to the computer to do that.
You trying to get the dudleyma.gov mail
Yes.
on your phone? I know how to do the settings. I set up the building, and it's a real wacky setting. You got to go into settings, and I can do it for you Thursday.
So
Okay.
I think that, yeah, I think if it doesn't work tomorrow, but it should, because you've got a ticket and he's going to be on site tomorrow. We had a internet issue at the town hall today, so.
Yeah, but the
Everything
settings,
got jacked up.
the settings are really wacky. I'm telling you, I got it all written down. If he can't do it, I can do it.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
John, can you hear me?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes?
Go ahead,
Okay,
George.
I'm not myself unmuted, so I'm on.
Okay. George, Thursday at 10 a.m. at the fire station? Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Did you have anything, George?
Yeah, just one thing. I just want to say we had another main break Thursday evening. It was in the same area we had the last one, basically speaking. It was completed from start to finish as far as the digging goes. It's about 3.5 hours like the previous one. There was no complaints in the area that we had as far as dirty water. I just want to thank all the water and sewer guys for a good job in the late at night, getting it all done in the dark. It seems this is the same type of pipe, the type of breaks we've been having on Mason Road, which hopefully we'll be able to correct if we have this project go through. So I feel bad for the neighborhood there, but that's unfortunately the type of pipe that's in the ground, and maybe someday we'll be able to address that part of it.
Excellent. Thank you, George. Next up is the student representative. He's not here, correct, Mr. Ruda?
Yes, he's not here. You're correct.
Excellent. So the next thing on the agenda is to adjourn into executive session.
So moved.
No, we need to read it. Would someone like to read it, or would you like me to read it?
Mr. Chairman,
Right.
before we do that, the game plan is we'll end this Zoom meeting and I'll send out another invitation, reconvene the Board of Selectmen, Michelle and I on the Mark Terry conversation.
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Marcy,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we convene into executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if any open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares, not to reconvene in public.
Second.
motion and a second. Roll call vote.
John Marcy, aye.
Stephen Sullivan, aye.
Jay Johnson, aye.
Terry Siganovich, unanimous. Good evening, everyone. Have a good evening.